We are seeing right now Bitcoin trying to surpass that 4,000 level, holding right below it. What happens to the price if we see another split?
I don't know anything about what happens to the price at all. Of course, in August, we saw a split because there's one group of people whose vision was to scale Bitcoin by expanding the block size. Another group wanted to keep the block size steady but have these layer 2 transactions. What could happen in November is this other split formed by a lot of sort of business leaders who wanted to come up with a compromise between the two visions and sort of expand the block size and change how it scales. But there are still many in the community who are opposed to that, and so that is why, as Roger explained, we could have 3 Bitcoins sometime in November.
What would do to the price of the other 2 Bitcoins?
I really have no idea. I mean, I'm more into hindsight, so I can look at a chart and say what did happen. Intuitively, you would think that all this uncertainty about what's the real Bitcoin wouldn't be good, but on the other hand, the split that we saw in August didn't really seem to have too much of an effect. So it's hard to know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I think we saw an initial slump and then we saw it bounce right back up. But then again, we are seeing this huge pressure because of more regulation, or apparently potentially more regulation coming in China. Also Japan seeing that they could start monitoring the markets more closely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's been a big source of concern for a while, and it's certainly stepped up. Historically, there's been China has been a big source of demand. So that's going to obviously be crimped with the closing of those exchanges. It seems plausible that other governments will eventually want to get into regulating the exchanges and limiting the ability of people to get on them. So you have to figure that participants in the market need to be aware of those things.
Is this going to be the deciding factor on whether a cryptocurrency can live or die without government?
Well, I would say, in the history of Bitcoin, there have been numerous incidents that struck people as being pivotal. The Mt. Gox hack that everyone remembers from a few years ago, that was the biggest exchange. All kinds of things happen like that. So I think this saga will have many twists and turns in the future. I don't think one thing we could say, oh, this will be the definitive thing.